call me old-fashioned if I catch you in the rain in Manhattan. Oh, I can't wait until my lips are on yours. I can't help the way that I'm feeling. The way you look tonight is so appealing. Hold up, I need to pace myself. You're the bullet to my heart, I swear. I swear. Only took one shot. Only took one shot. The only thing I'll promise is I'll give you all I've got. Oh, you remind me of my favorite bourbon. Take a sip of you, baby, I'm swerving from left to right. Left to right. You remind me of my favorite bourbon. Take two more shots, you know I'm swerving from left to right.
Yeah, look, alright. Now pretty bourbon brown eyes, can I grab you off the shelf? You sweet but you strong, I gotta have you to myself. I'm trying to let you know that you're the only drink I'm trying to pour. Girl, it's Dunton, aka the slurring bourbon connoisseur. And look, I had a couple, so you know I'm telling the truth. I don't settle for kettle one, I don't settle for goose. First we had a couple rounds just to see how it go. Now it's time to tap that barrel, girl, let's see how it flow. You got that caramel dripping, now I'm sipping. They can't take you straight, but baby, I'm built different. It feels different. Listen, you keep getting Dunton loose. You far from the jungle juice, but you keep it 100 proof. I don't need no Coca-Cola or no Sprite for you. And yeah, you good on the rocks, might put that ice on you. You got that Jameson, that Johnny, or that Jack, and you can miss me. I need bourbon in my life, cause baby, you my favorite whiskey. Come on.
I don't want you holding back. Tell me everything, and I do mean everything, everything. It's time for last call. You know that this liquor been flowing faster than free fall. If we keep going, I might not be able to recall. Bullet to my heart, I swear. Only took one shot. Only took one shot. Only thing I'll promise is I'll give you all I've got. Oh, you remind me of my favorite bourbon. Take a sip of you, baby, I'm swerving from left to right. Left to right. You remind me of my favorite bourbon. Take two more shots, you know I'm swerving from left to right. Oh, let the band play on, and they be playing our song.
Girl, it's Dunton, aka the slurring bourbon connoisseur. And look.
Hey y'all, what's smacking? How you crack-a-lacking? How you crack-a-lacking? What's smacking? Happy Thursday. Hey London, hey Natty, hey Cruz, the mod squad is in the house. Hey Lil Unique, hey Brown Eyes, hey LaWanda, hey Lioness, Nala. Did I get everybody? Okay, hey everybody, how y'all doing? I am Lisa the X, aka Brown Whiskey Woman. Live from Space 2, Lock and Key Media Studios here in the ATL, shouty. What's going on, y'all? What's happening? So I'm here. And last week I did Wild, Wacky, and Hopefully Wonderful. And it was actually more wonderful than it was horrible. So that's always a good thing. I tasted some really good stuff, had some hoodoo, had some Eggo waffle sipping cream, which was really, really good. And I will tell you all, I have been drinking that in my coffee this past week. And it wasn't too bad in the coffee. It's different in the coffee, but it adds a little something to it. I appreciated it. Hey, Eb, thank you for the resub. I appreciate it. Happy 19 months. And that pickle beer, I brought 2 cans over here and I gave them to Locke as promised. And he can use them for whatever the hell he wants to use them for. And 1 can got dumped down the drain. And the other can I actually left at home. And yeah, but the other cans, he got them. So, but I did taste some good stuff. I was happy overall with everything I tasted, except for the pickle beer and the clapback wine. Didn't like either one of those. So tonight, I will be exploring some whiskeys made in other states. Now, this is going to be like a normal tasting because, I told you all, like, I tasted like 7 things. And I tasted like 9 things. Tonight, I'm back in my whiskey wheelhouse. I am tasting 4 things. Okay? So I'm back on track. I'm returning to my roots, or my ruts, as the old people say, my ruts. So, yeah, that's what we're doing tonight. So, I am excluding Kentucky, Tennessee, and Indiana. Hey, Joy, how you doing? And let me tell you why. First of all, 95% of the bourbon that is made is produced in Kentucky. So a lot of the whiskey comes out of Kentucky. Tennessee is the home of Jack Daniels. And Indiana, which I'm also excluding, is the biggest sourcer. So there is a huge distillery there called MGP. And now it's called Ross and Squibb. Ross and Squibb. They changed their name in 2024. It's in Lawrenceburg, Indiana. Because of the water, their location, their ability to grow and do all types of things, they're one of the biggest sourcers. So a lot of companies get their product from there, take it to their location, bottle it, and sell it. This is not uncommon in the liquor industry at all, and it's certainly not uncommon in the whiskey industry. So my slideshow that I'm going to present, and you don't have to be scared or nervous about this because it ain't nothing but liquor on there, has all of the states represented except for Kentucky, Tennessee, and Indiana. All right. I have some fun facts I'm going to be sharing with you on some of the whiskeys, not all of them. Otherwise, we'd be here all night long. And some fun facts about the states that you may or may not have known about your state. Hey, Amber. Hey, Rewrap. How you doing? And again, I'm going to be tasting these 4 whiskeys. So we're going to get into our slideshow. So for a while, y'all are not going to see my mug. You're only going to hear my voice as I try not to shuffle too much paper and make a whole bunch of noise because I have been warned by my EP that all that picks up on the mic, and the mic is very sensitive. So I'm going to try to be real quiet with moving my paper around because I got a lot of paper. So we are going to look at the slideshow. I am going to talk about the whiskeys a little bit. Hey, Psalmist, how you doing? Right, no ASMR. Only the gurgle. That's the only ASMR I like. And I'm kind of beginning to like the pop of the cork. That's kind of getting to be a thing too. So anyway, but we're going to get into our slideshow and we're going to talk about these whiskeys. And again, every state is represented except for Kentucky, Tennessee, and Indiana because they got lots of choices. All right. And we know that. And I'm only giving you like one. They're not the only ones. So I encourage you to look in your local liquor stores, wherever you live, and ask for the local product. Sometimes it is not prominently displayed. You have to kind of go through and look. I found out about an Atlanta one that I did not know about. It's actually on this slideshow that I'm going to show you. I've seen it in liquor stores, never bought it. Now I'm inclined. Now I will probably try that. So let's look at this slideshow and take a look at these brands. All right. So the first thing is a map. Whiskey in the U.S. I forgot I even put that shit in there. But okay. Next slide. And the reason why I did put that in there, I do remember now. Okay, go back to it. I do remember now. The top 5 states that drink the most American whiskey, that's why I put it in there, are Kentucky. No surprise there. Indiana, and I just told you that they source quite a bit from Indiana. West Virginia, North Carolina, and Missouri. North Carolina and Missouri are almost tied, percentile wise. The bottom 5 are Idaho, New Jersey, New York, Minnesota, and Oregon. So the drinkingest folks are Kentucky. The least drinkingest folks, Idaho. I don't know. Maybe they need to drink more in Idaho. I'm not sure. Maybe it would make Idaho more exciting. Not sure. Anyway. All right. Now I'm ready. Now I'm ready to move. All right. So this list, again, I am highlighting one whiskey from every state. So the first one is Alabama. And it's called John Emerald. And this is the state's first whiskey distillery to open in 100 years. Goody Two Shoes, Alabama started Prohibition 5 years early. In 1915, had one product, John's Alabama Single Malt, smoked with peach and pecan wood. So that's it. The next one is Alaska. So this is the Alaska Distillery. And this one is called Alaska Outlaw. And the thing about this one is they make a smoked salmon vodka. That does not sound good to me. Hey, Blue Majesty, how you doing? Yeah, that does not sound appealing to me, but they do make it. Next, we have Arizona, which is Whiskey Del Bac. And I've actually had this one before out of Tucson, Arizona. It is a mesquite smoked whiskey. And the way that they describe it is like drinking a bag of barbecue Lay's. I do recall it having a barbecue flavor. Not quite, like some of the barbecue flavored whiskeys, which I have talked about on here. But this Whiskey Del Bac is pretty good. Next slide. So we got Arkansas. That's next. So Arkansas, this is called Rocktown, and that's the appropriate name because in case you all did not know, Arkansas is actually the place where, first of all, you can still mine for diamonds. They're the biggest producer of American diamonds that we currently have. So that's why it's called Rocktown. But they utilize 100% Arkansas ingredients for products. And that's a big deal. And I'm going to talk about why that is a big deal. Because a lot of times when something says it's from a place, it might not actually fully, completely be from a place. Because I talked about the sourcing piece. Next, you have California. And that is called Charbet. It was founded in 1993. And this is one of the most advanced micro distilleries in the game. It's in the Napa Valley. No surprise there. They produce wine, tequila, vodka, rum, walnut liqueur, and some of the more interesting whiskeys in the world. It is run by a 13th generation master distiller. So that's pretty impressive, 13 generations. Next to that, you have Colorado, and this is the Leopold brothers. Now, Colorado has quite a few whiskeys. The one that really comes to mind, more well-known than probably this one, is called Stranahan's. I did see Stranahan's on the shelf when I went to the liquor store, but I elected not to get it. I got something else instead. But they have a lot of really, really good flavors. They have a Rocky Mountain peach, a Rocky Mountain blackberry. They're lower proof, but they use the macerated and blended local fruit to sweeten it and give it complexity. So that's something a little bit different about what Leopold offers. Hey, Popular Lona Maria, how you doing? Next. I think we got next. Are we next? Okay. Connecticut. Litchfield. So the city is Litchfield, of course, founded in 2014. They are also a micro distillery, and their claim to fame is farm to bottle. That means that they grow everything. Everything is made there, and then they're bottling it there. There's no sourcing. So it's kind of like that whole idea of terroir, where they're growing everything there. It's local, putting it all there, but they call it farm to bottle. Next one is Delaware. And this is called Dogfish Head. Really interesting name, but it is rum that is finished, it's whiskey, finished in a rum cask. And that looks like a cassette tape on the front of it. Does anybody else see that? You see that? Okay. I thought it was just me because I was like, I believe that is a cassette tape, but it's called Dogfish Head.
That is a cassette tape player.
Okay.
I recognize that anywhere.
Okay. So this is really kind of interesting because Delaware is not really a whiskey hotbed, right? So it kind of makes it easy for any distillery to do well in Delaware because you don't have a lot of them. But they have done a lot of experimental whiskey. They've used applewood, smoked barley, and they do the finish in the rum cask. So that's something a little bit different. But they do a lot of experimental things. So that's pretty cool. Then you have District of Columbia. I did include them. All right. Since I didn't include Indiana, Kentucky, and Tennessee, I said throw District of Columbia in there. So this one is called 1-8. And I like the name. I wish I could have found this one. And they call it a cigar blend. I don't really know what that means. I'm going to be honest. I didn't find out a whole lot of information about it, but I'm imagining it has some smoke or something to it in the flavoring why they're calling it a cigar blend. So anyway, next, Florida. So this is called St. Augustine. And of course, it's from the city of St. Augustine, founded in 2014. And it's a community-owned distillery. And it's located in the historical commercial area in an ice plant. And they make a port finished, and port is wine, bourbon that's aged in barrels from the nearby San Sebastian winery. So that's pretty cool that they are taking all of these local elements and combining them together. Hey, This Girl TV, how you doing? Then this is the one I was telling you all about for Georgia. It's called 13th Colony. I have seen this on the shelves in the liquor store, but I never bought it, never tried it. I have tried some other local products, but this is one that I have not, but I will now. Okay, and this is, again, right here in Georgia. And they produce a 4-year Southern bourbon and a Southern rye finished on French oak spirals. So you've heard me talk about the barrel. And the barrel is made with what they call staves. Some people pronounce it stabs. So those are the pieces of the barrel, right? So French oak spirals are basically pieces of wood, French oak, that are fashioned into these spirals, and they put them into the barrel to give it flavor. There are certain types of wood that are not good for making barrels because they will leak. And generally they use French oak. Okay. Hey, Diz, how you doing? Nope. Coming to it. Coming to it. All right. So next to that, I have Hawaii. And I don't know why I have Hawaii there, but I do. But I got Hawaii. This is coming out of Honolulu, founded in 2017. So many years ago, the closest thing that Hawaii had was, moonshine, basically. That was the closest thing they had to whiskey. But now they have this small batch distillery using a variety of a typical yeast and hyper aging, right? And they do this for a year to produce this. They have a single malt and they have a corn whiskey. Yeah, I know my experiences with corn whiskey have not been good, so they ain't got to worry about me tasting that. Hey, DK, how you doing? Next. So we have Idaho whiskey. This was founded in 2013. This is their flagship product called Idaho whiskey. It's a small batch bourbon and it's a top seller. And their liquor stores are government state run. Okay, so a little bit different than other places. There are other places that have it, but in Idaho, it's run by the government. So the next one is Illinois. This is called Few. I actually have this one to taste tonight. So I am excited about this one. The city is Evanston. It was founded in 2011. And that woman on the front, and I'll show it to you a little bit better on the bottle, but they have some imagery on the front, is Frances Elizabeth Willard. She was a temperance worker, a big legend in that area. And Few makes quite a few products. I'm going to talk about some of those, but I'm excited to be able to taste this one. The next one is Iowa, Cedar Ridge. The city is Swisher. It was founded in 2005. And this one has a little bit of controversy, or I should say Iowa has a little bit of controversy because I talked about the sourcing piece. So on the bottle of when you buy liquor, it's supposed to have everything on there, right? It's supposed to tell you how long it's aged. If it doesn't have an age statement, that means that it's been aged a minimum of, 2 years. Hey, Rail, we got a raid. Thank you. I appreciate that. Hey, Kelly. Hey, come on in, Raiders. Welcome. So there's lots of stuff that's supposed to be on the bottle. Well, there was a whiskey that was produced in Iowa, and they did not say it was sourced, but they tried to say it was an Iowa product. And so it was like a big lawsuit, a class action suit for the marketing on the product. And yeah. So now we got this Cedar Ridge. And you see how in big ass letters it says Iowa bourbon whiskey. That's why. It's because of the class action suit. So that was a really, really big deal. Next. So then we got Kansas. So this is called Union Horse, founded in 2010. So this actually made the top 100 spirits of the year. So this should be some pretty good stuff. Never had it. Hope I get a chance to try it. If I'm ever in the Kansas area, I'll check it out. If you're in the Kansas area, make sure you check this one out. Then the next one is Louisiana. And that bottle, and I know it's a little bit distorted, but it's called Louisiana Attila Ve is how you pronounce it. So a lot of distilleries, of course, are focusing on, traditional whiskey made with corn and barley and rye. They offer something called Riz, and it is whiskey made from rice. I'm very curious about that. So if we got anybody that's in the Louisiana area that wants to send me a bottle of that, do so. I will take it. I'm very curious as to what rice whiskey would taste like. In my mind, I'm thinking that maybe it might be a little bit like sake. That's just kind of what I think. But I would like to see if I'm correct or not. But yes, they make a whiskey that is from rice. So next to that, we have Maine, 50 Stone. So Maine is known for world-class beer. That is what they are famous for. But this Portland distillery makes a gin that is made from carrots or flavored with carrots. And then this one, 50 Stone, is on the style of Scotch. So it's a Highland style peated single malt. So they have other things too. Next. Maryland, which is what Diz was asking about, right? We're talking about Maryland. So this was founded in 2012, and this is fairly new. It's from the Chesapeake Bay area, and they made rum. originally, and now they have 100 proof rye whiskey and a single malt. And it's called Lion. So again, I bet you this is some good stuff. I like rye. I've talked about that before. I like the spice that rye offers. And, 100 proof. Yeah, I bet you that could do a thing or two. Then we have the State of Mass 888, right? 888. So this is from Nantucket. And they have a 12-year-old single malt. And this has won a whole bunch of awards. This one came up several times in my research as one of the best to try. Because what I did was I looked for different whiskeys, different things that each state offered. And then, of course, I looked for what was the best or the best offerings. So the next one is Michigan Grand Traverse Distillery. That's my home, or where I come from, at least. Atlanta's my home, but that's where I come from. It's Michigan. Shout out Sea Love. So Michigan is cherry country. So this distillery does make a cherry whiskey. And they also make a lot of other things. And they make a peated rye also, again, on the lines of Scotch. I actually tried one of the Traverse City products when I did the show with Deliver. We actually tasted that. And it was really, really good. And I wound up giving him that bottle. Probably should have kept that because that was some good stuff, but it was good. Hey, Panic at the Pen Show. How you doing? Hey, Stormy. How you doing? All right, next. And for those people that just came in, I am going through, I'm recommending a whiskey from each state. We're talking about all of the whiskeys in different places that are offered. So the next one is Minnesota. This one is called 11 Wells, founded in 2013. And the thing about 11 Wells, and I knew this before I put this slideshow together, they might disclose the most information of any distillery on planet Earth about how they make their whiskey. Because you got to think about it, for the most part, it's pretty basic, but distilleries don't want to get into details because they don't want anybody to duplicate their product. They have 13 different production elements. They talk about the proof, the age, the barrel char level, the yeast type. They just tell you all type of stuff. I'm imagining it's just like a full disclosure type of thing. They want people to know exactly what it is that they're drinking when they buy their product. That's a lot of information. I'm not sure that if I had a whiskey, I would do all of that. If I had any type of anything, would I share all of that information? So the next one is Mississippi. So this one is called Gold Coast. And this comes to us from Cathead Distillery. Now, the last couple of shows I've done, I've talked quite a bit about Cathead Distillery. So on the show with Fro and David C. Dennis, we drank some 119.69 proof Old Soul from Cathead. And then the last show I did, I tasted Hoodoo, which was also a liqueur from Cathead. And I was pleased with both of those. Cathead is the first distillery in the state of Mississippi. So that's pretty cool. And Cathead, the name Cathead, is a nod to jazz musicians. They were called Catheads. So the next one is Missouri. This is called Still 630. And that is the still number that it comes from. And they won Best in Class in 2016 from the American Craft Spirits Association Award. So usually anything that wins an award, it's usually pretty good stuff, for the most part. Somebody liked it, right? Like the judges really liked it. For some reason, I like that bottle. It feels like, I don't know, it has an old kind of look to it to me. Not sure, but I like it. Yeah. So next, Montana. So this one is called Wheatfish, which is weird to me. I don't know. It's an odd name. Like I don't get it. I must say I don't get it. And I didn't really see. I don't know if it's an area because the city is Karam that it comes from, and it was founded in 2009. I'm not sure why they call it Wheatfish. If anybody knows, I mean, I've been to Montana before, but I don't remember anything about Wheatfish. But anyway, the story behind this is that there was a few friends and they were really worried that they were going to run out of whiskey. So they decided to make their own during a snowstorm. There was a massive snowstorm. You know, they looked like that they had to, be locked down and they didn't know when they were going to get out. So they said, we're going to make our own whiskey. So it's organic, GMO, free grain whiskey. And this is it. The next one is Nebraska. It's called Cut Spike. Comes out of La Vista, founded in 2008. And it's made using Scottish copper stills. And that's a rarity in America for them to have a still that comes out of another country. Hey, DJ All Love, how you doing? Okay, so Montana has a town called Whitefish. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Wheatfish. I'm sorry. Very cool. Thank you for that. I did not remember that. I didn't know that. But it's a rarity for us to have a still in America from another country because there is a company here called Vendome that makes most of the copper stills, and they're in the Kentucky area. So that's pretty impressive for them to have that in Nebraska. So Nevada, they have one called Verde Local Distillery, founded in 2015. It's an award-winning product, and they have something called mahogany whiskey, and it's aged on the mountain mahogany, as well as a fireball challenging apple cinnamon whiskey. Now, you all know I'm not really a big fan of the cinnamon whiskeys. Well, not a fireball, I'll say that. There's some others I've tasted that I liked. But actually, cinnamon and apple together tastes kind of good to me. I mean, that sounds good. I think that the combination of those two things would be really good. So I would be willing to try that. Next. So next we have Nebraska. And my notes are not in order. Okay, there they are. Nebraska. It is called You Did Musk. Now, this one was probably the most interesting thing to me. I almost didn't believe it. But you see that badger or that beaver, whatever I guess it's a beaver. They made a whiskey and they used the fluid that was in the anal glands of the beaver and added it to the whiskey. That's what they did. And I was like, wow. That was a lot. That was a lot. But so I guess it has an appropriate name, an appropriate picture on the front of it. But yeah, that's what they did. So the next one is New Jersey. This is the state that gave America its first ever distillery, and it's surprisingly lacking in whiskey production today. This is called Asbury Park Distilling, and they do have an excellent distillery. It's right near the boardwalk, and they make a double barrel bourbon. It's aged in both oak and used gin barrels. Okay. So the next one is New Mexico. Founded by the Englishman Colin Keegan, this distillery makes a Scotch-style mesquite smoke whiskey and is aged in the high desert, 7,000 feet above sea level. So, all of them, as you can see, kind of have something. Hey, Forest One, how you doing? All of them have stuff that kind of makes it a little bit different. Just a little bit different, right? So that's New Mexico. Okay. Okay, so it was brought. I did skip one, and actually, you know what? I see what happened here. New Hampshire is the one that has the Beaver whiskey. That came out of New Hampshire. Nevada was the one that had the Verde Local Distillery. So I did miss that. Okay. All right, next. So my apologies to New Hampshire and Nevada. New York. So Mackenzie rye whiskey. So this is really popular. I see this on the shelf quite a bit. This is some pretty good stuff. I've actually had this one before. This is the Finger Lakes Distilling, founded in 2009. And it's set in the Mr. Wine Country, but they use corn, wheat, and rye from local farms to craft their gins, brandies, and various liqueurs. So that, again, pretty unique for them to be using everything that is right there. The next one is North Carolina, and this is Rua is the name of it, but it's Great Wagon Road Distilling. Is the name of it. And it's an Irish native from a family of illegal whiskey makers that started this. So Rua means red in Gaelic. Gaelic. Is it Gaelic or Gaelic? I don't know. But you can see it's kind of reddish in color. So that's why they named it that. Then they have North Dakota. So this is the only whiskey distiller in the state that makes a cinnamon whiskey called Two Dogs Fire by Proof, founded in 2013. Next, Ohio. So this one's called Tom's Foolery, founded in 2010. I am going to taste something from Ohio today. It is not this one, but I love the name of this one, Tom's Foolery. And they make great bonded bourbon. Also one from one of the few micro distillers who can claim the distinction of being bonded. So when they say something is bonded, that means that they have a stricter regulation in terms of how their liquor is stored. And D-Man comes in right on cue when I talk about Ohio. Of course, Kelly and Real were already in here, but when I started talking about Ohio, he heard that. So they have stricter laws about how the liquor is stored. And that's the reason why it is called bonded. Then you have Oklahoma. This is called Scissortail. It's called Lead Singers, but Scissortail is the distiller. And it's called Napalm. I mean, I don't know about y'all, but I'm kind of scared of something called Napalm that's in a bottle. But I don't think I'd mess with it, but that's me. That's me. So next one is Oregon. Comes out of Portland, founded in 2004. And, I did a show not long ago where I talked about some stuff from Portland. And that and I don't even remember the name of it now, but it was something that seemed like it was really good. I remember going through their website and yeah. But this one is Irish inspired. It's a Westward single malt whiskey. And it's fermented with ale yeast. And ale yeast would be used for beer traditionally, but they put it in the whiskey. Next. So we got Pennsylvania, and this is called Dad's Hat. Dad's Hat. Interesting name, I have to say that. And the city is Bristol. It was founded in 2011. And I mean, I'm not sure why the name is what it is, but I can tell you it's 94 proof rye and it's finished in vermouth barrels. So you notice that a lot of things are finished in different ways. Not dad's joke, dad's hat. No dad jokes. But that's kind of what gives them some sort of distinction or makes them something different in some way. So we got Rhode Island. Rhode Island. So this one was interesting to me too, because this is grapefruit hop whiskey. So hops, again, is something that are used in beer, to brew beer. But yeah, that it's called Sons of Liberty. It's Old Kingstown, 2011, and it's grapefruit. I'm not sure how grapefruit and whiskey would taste together, but all right. This is it. So then we got South Carolina. All right. And then after this, I am going to take a break and I'm going to taste some stuff. And then I'm going to come back to this. But South Carolina High Wire. So this is sorghum whiskey. And basically, sorghum is a plant that produces like this stuff that's like syrup, essentially. And the sorghum is grown on a Mennonite farm. And this is called Revival. They also make a biscuit whiskey. I've never heard of a biscuit whiskey. I can't imagine what a biscuit whiskey tastes like. I honestly can't imagine what sorghum whiskey tastes like. But I'd be willing to try it. I like the bottling. Something about that looks like South Carolina, right? It's like a jug or something. You see the paper on the top. Yeah, it looks like something to try. And it's called New Southern Revival. Taste the biscuit. Okay, are you saying taste the biscuit? All of like, explain what you mean by that. Like, is it good? Or you know about this? I need for you to elaborate. Okay, because I want to know. All right. So we're going to take a break from the slideshow. And we're going to come back to our last states. And okay, like the video, the lady singing that song. Okay, gotcha. And I am going to taste some stuff. So I told you all that I had a bottle from Illinois, which was actually on my list. That's what it looks like. And remember, I talked about the lady on the front of it, right? That was part of the women's suffrage movement, basically. So it's an ode to her. This is, let me put on my glasses so I can read the bottle, right? That help. So it says this is a 3-grain straight bourbon. Now, most bourbons are made from 3 grains. So the first one is always going to be corn, at least 51% to be considered to be a bourbon. Most of them average more than that. But it says this recipe infuses generations of Southern tradition with the spiciness of Northern rye and a touch of malt for smoothness. Handcrafted in small batches, aged in charred oak barrels, it is a straight bourbon of uncommon complexity. And it's fewspirits.com. That information is going through Stream Elements. And it says mashed, fermented, distilled, and bottled in Few Spirits by Few Spirits, LLC, Evanston, Illinois. So, I talked about reading the bottle, and I'm going to continue to read all of these bottles because I'm going to point out some things to you. So you see it says mashed, fermented, distilled, and bottled by Few Spirits in Evanston, Illinois. So they're making sure that they make you aware that this is comes out of Illinois, right? They didn't give you any other information about sourcing or anything like that. So this is my first time tasting this. I'm excited about tasting it because I've seen it on the shelf. And I did not know where it was from until I started to do research. Plastic cork, which is okay. That's economical. It had no gurgle. None. It was silent. But I like the way the bottle is shaped. So that's what the liquid looks like, just so you can see color. Yeah, the pop of the cork was nice. That's what that looks like. That's a nice color. I mean, like medium kind of color-wise. Very pleasant smell. This is, I get like a hint of honey. A little bit of fruit. And I can kind of smell like the rye in it a little bit too. So, yeah. Okay, so here we go. This is Few. That's good. Very, very smooth. Very smooth over the palate. No Kentucky hug. Of course, it's not from Kentucky. So I guess it would be an Illinois hug if it did have something. This is good. I like it. Yeah, this might be what goes in a cocktail. We'll see. I like that. Yeah, it is very, very smooth. This is a good sipper. There are certain whiskeys that I feel like if they're kind of rough, you can't really sip those and enjoy them because it's like every time you take a sip of it, you're going to be like, ugh. This one, be great, neat, some ice, something real simple, a simple mixer. Yeah, someone said it made my voice go gentle. I like it. This was really good. I like it. Few Spirits. Shout out your hometown, London Michelle. I did all right with this. Okay, so this is the straight bourbon whiskey. It is 93 proof. Should have told you all that. You might want to know that. So it's a higher proof. They have a really cool website. If we have time, I would love to look at their website live. Came out in 2011. It's about $40 a bottle. That's the medium price. I think I paid $36 for it. They have about 9 iterations, and they've done some music collaborations with the Smashing Pumpkins, Alice in Chains, Black Rebel Motorcycle, and they have like these special bottles on their website that are beautiful. Like they're artistically beautiful. So Panic at the Pen Show asked, was there any heat to it? Not really. Not really any heat at all. Just very, very gentle and smooth is a way that I would describe it. Again, I didn't get a bite. I think it'd be great to sip. I think it'd be great in a cocktail. Again, it was $36 for me here in the Atlanta area. 93 proof. I recommend it. And then just think how nice this would look sitting on your shelf, right? Because this is a really, really nice looking bottle. Like, I like the shape of it. It's kind of old school, but then kind of modern too. I like it. So Few, yeah, you get a rating. I'm gonna give Few a 5. I'm gonna give it a 5. So I'm gonna taste another one, and I have 2 others that I'm gonna taste. So I have my table crackers, my Carr's communion crackers. That's what you use to cleanse your palate. Or you can use room temperature water. So if you do a flight, if you go someplace and you do a flight of whiskey, they're always going to give you something in between to clear the palate. So the crackers will do it. They'll either have those or they'll have a water. And if you're at home, because what you're basically doing is removing the residue of what you last drank, so that the next thing you taste, you can get full taste on it and get all the taste and notes in it. So this one. Now, I'm going to tell you all, I bought this based on the bottle. I love the artwork on the bottle. This is called Smoke Wagon. It is out of Las Vegas, Nevada. 2004 is when they originated. It was about $32. This is 92.5 proof. Okay. So I want to tell you a little bit about this bottle. The artwork on the front is the desert sage. That is the flower of Nevada. It's the Nevada state flower. And then Smoke Wagon is slang for the 1873 Colt single action army revolver. They say that's the gun that won the West. Now, the reason why I know it's slang is because my mother is a cowboy fan. She loves cowboy movies. So I knew that, but I did not know specifically what. I just thought it was slang for a gun, right? But it is specifically the 1873 Colt single action revolver. On the back of it, it has, of course, the guns crossing each other. And it has some Latin on the bottom of it. And the Latin, I'm going to put on my glasses so I can actually read the saying. Hey, DJ Moni G, how you doing? It is Bibemus Morendum Est. Basically, that means drink for we must die. So the meaning, of course, is, drink up, have a good time because we won't be here forever. Now, I love the bottle. And again, I like the name too, Smoke Wagon. So it says the barrels are first hand selected from the top 2 floors of the warehouse because where something sits in the warehouse or the rick house does matter in terms of taste. To create a bourbon that has flavor which is smooth and rich beyond its years. They are then expertly blended, creating a delicate balance of rye, spice, sweet notes of corn with toasted oak and caramel. It is aged a minimum of 39 months. Now, I told you all about reading this bottle, right? So they have aged and bottled in Nevada by the H&C Distilling Company. Got the website information. And then they have your little barcode right there. And then underneath there, in teeny tiny little bitty letters, it says distilled in Indiana. So I chose this because, again, I like the artwork on the front of it. It said Las Vegas, Nevada. But this product is bottled in Las Vegas, Nevada. It's aged in Las Vegas, Nevada, but it is sourced in Indiana, more likely MGP, because they are the hugest sourcer. All right. So it's really important to read your bottle. Now, how they can get away with this is they have it listed on the bottle. They're not lying because it's listing. It's listed on the bottle, right? So they put it on there. It's just super tiny. So the fine print matters. Salma said it. The fine print does matter. It really, really does. So, yeah. But we're going to taste it because, like I said, I love the imagery. I love the name of it, all of that stuff. White ink on white paper. I love it. This Girl TV. You're right. But I bought this one. I did read that in the liquor store. I just want you all to know I was not ignorant to that. But for the purposes of the show and the point that I wanted to make about the sourcing, I wanted to try this. I did want to try. Plus, like I said, the bottle's beautiful. So why not? That gurgle was absolutely wonderful. That was nice. So let's see what it looks like. This one looks a little more pee-pee-ish. Locke and I talk about that, how they look like samples sometimes. The color is not as robust. Yeah, it does look apple juice. I guess that's better than saying pea, right? Because, yeah, I don't want to. That's not my thing. I'm not into that. So, yeah, I don't. Not me. But anyway, so this is what it looks like. Hey, Miss KB. I get honey. Yeah, it's sourced out of Indiana. I get honey. That's what I strongly get when I smell it. I'm not picking up anything else, but we'll see what it tastes like. Woo! Hey, Tank. Woo, y'all. I did not like that. I did not like that.
That was obvious.
Oh my gosh. That kind of brought water to my eyes. Y'all, okay, wait a minute. It's 92.5 proof. The fuel was 93. Let me just read some facts because I gotta recover.
You jolted on that one.
Wow, I gotta like do.
You like legitimately just like convulse over there for this.
They also make silver dollar vodka. I don't drink vodka. Ooh. And the Latin saying, the Bibimus Morendium Est is by the philosopher Seneca. And again, drink for we must die. Like I feel like a little bit of my soul died. I don't really have words. I mean, that was bad. I'm gonna put that over to the side. I'll be taking a second sip of that. The bottle was beautiful. I love the story. It was two friends, Jonathan and Aaron. They opened up a bar and then they ventured into making spirits. I hope that what they have going on at the bar is like so much better. So much better than that. Hey Guzzle, thank you. Happy 22 months. I didn't care for that at all. I got a big ass bottle of that. They had no miniatures. There were no samples I could buy. Okay. Let's go back to the slideshow. Let's keep going. Let's go back to the slideshow and look at some other stuff. Okay, so where am I? I'm like all messed up. South Dakota. I'm in South Dakota now. So this is South Dakota. It's called Dakota Spirits. And this is their only aged whiskey maker. And they make an oat whiskey. And they have a blended product called Bickering Brothers, which is what you see there, Bickering Brothers. It's a really interesting name, I thought. I am so sorry. Wow. I am shooketh. I'm a little bit shooketh over here. Like I'm looking at this smokehouse wagon like, ooh, okay. Moving on. Texas. Hey, Natty. So this is called Balcones Brimstone. I have heard of this one, but I have never had this. It comes out of Waco. Interesting, it's called Brimstone coming out of Waco.
Right.
I mean, that just kind of hit me. I didn't even think about that when I was doing the research, but I'm like, whoa, okay. So anyway, Balcones. And they use heirloom corn, which is basically corn that is not altered in any way. It's not genetically modified. It is like from the simplest form. Hey, Holly. And that's why it's called heirloom corn. And they use sun-baked scrubbed oak barrels. So they're very innovative and they like to try a lot of different stuff just to see kind of how the whiskey will turn out or how their product. Now, this again is corn whiskey. Tank said Waco equals trash, except for Baylor. Yeah, and I'm not messing with any corn whiskey ever again in my whole entire life. Just saying. So the next one is Utah. That's High West. So High West has an excellent reputation. I have never had High West. I've never tried it. I thought about trying it this time, but I chose not to. But in the future, got a lot more shows to do. I will. They have some really intriguing names for High West. They have one called Yippee-Ki-Yay, and it's finished in a vermouth barrel. They have something called Midwinter's Night's Dream. It's finished in port barrels. So they do some different naming, and they're very experimental. And I love hearing about these distilleries that are willing to experiment and kind of go outside the lines with what they're doing in terms of whiskey making, because whiskey making, it's not an easy process, but it's just kind of a basic process in terms of what is normally done. But in order to get different flavor profiles, you got to be willing to try some different things. Next slide. So Vermont Whistle Pig, that is one of my personal favorites. I don't really talk about Whistle Pig too much, but I really like Whistle Pig. That's a good product. Founded in 2008, and they do a lot of farm to bottle distillate as well. They have a rye that is excellent. They have one called Boss Hog that's probably for a tasting of it. It's about $80 just for a tasting. The bottle itself is about $600 to $700. But Whistle Pig is good. They have some very high-end products, like I said, $600, $700, but then they also have some things that are kind of in the middle as well. And this girl TV said Whistle Pig is good. They do make a really, really good product. So the next one is out of Virginia. It's Virginia Distilling Company. And they're another one that does a lot of experimentation. They do a lot with beer and cider and Chardonnay and cold brew. Whole bunch of stuff that they like to experiment with. So yay for Virginia. Okay, so Kelly, wait a minute. That's what you guys were sipping Tuesday night? Yeah, Whistle Pig is some good stuff. That's a good product. So out of Vermont. Then we have Washington. And this is from the Westland Distillery. They're a little guy, right? But they focus on bourbon, which a lot of micro distilleries do not. They focus on bourbon and they do some single malts. But all of them are like really, really good. I've actually had this one before at Westland. I had it in a bar. I did not have it, and I drank it neat. It's really good. But they have a lot of different things that they do. So this whole experimentation thing. And they say that this is one of the best non-Kentucky, Tennessee, Indiana whiskeys in America. I don't know about that, but that's what folks say. It's won lots of awards. So if you are in Washington, try this. Try this. Westland. Next. So West Virginia Smooth Ambler. I had to put it on there. Hey, Booms. How you doing? Smooth Ambler. This is a wheated bourbon, but they do have several products. Smooth Ambler has gotten a lot of acclaim, especially lately. They've won a lot of awards. Good stuff, really good stuff. I almost bought it because I just like it. And I was like, I should get that. And then my mom is from West Virginia. So I was like, that would be a nice shout out. But I decided not to and go with some other things instead. But I was very fortunate. I went to Tower Liquor Store here in Atlanta on Piedmont Ave in Buckhead. And they have a really good selection. I feel fortunate that here in Atlanta, we have a pretty good selection of whiskeys and wines and different things from different places. A lot of places do not have that, but we do. So Smooth Ambler, I highly, highly recommend. This wheated bourbon, I'm really excited to possibly try because I'm a rye girl. But I'm thinking this wheated bourbon might be good. So if you're a person that likes Maker's Mark, this is probably a good one to try for you. So Wisconsin. So it's called 45th Parallel. It's one of the oldest distilleries in the state. And they make a 4-year-old border straight bourbon and also one called New Richmond. Founded in 2007. Then we have Wyoming. And Wyoming, they really wanted you to know that was from Wyoming, right? Wyoming whiskey, that's like big as hell on that bottle. And it says that you might not be too optimistic the first time you encounter this because it's just a basic name, simple packaging, but pretty good stuff. So they say. They have a lot of different products. Again, a lot of experimentation. They do a double cask where they have one where they finish it in a sherry cask or a sherry barrel, which gives it a finish. They call that a finish when they take it out of one barrel and put it in another. So I think this one might be interesting to try. Panic at the Pin Show said it's typical of Wyoming. Yeah, because I just looked at all the other pictures and I was like, yeah, you know where that's from. That's Wyoming. That's big, and they have that big WW on there. They want you to know that. So I think that's the last slide. Okay, I was right about that. So let's get back to these other things that I am tasting. I think I've recovered from the smoke wagon. So this next one I've actually had before, but I put it on the list. This is called New Hudson Bourbon. And the reason why I chose this one is it's a lot of really interesting things about it. First of all, shout out to C. Cruz, CCC Cruz, my mod for New York. But this is called Hudson Whiskey, New York. It's Bright Lights Big Bourbon. Okay, it has undergone several name changes, but now it's called Bright Lights Big Bourbon. Hey, Crazy Berry Town, how you doing? So this is what it looks like. And there are a lot of things that make this really unique. First of all, I love the shape of the bottle. That was one thing that drew me in, plus the name. All right. And then when I started to research it, I was further intrigued. And I first tried this probably about maybe 6 or 7 years ago. So I told you all in order for something to be bourbon on the mash bill or the recipe, it has to be at least 51% corn, right? This is 95% corn. 95% corn, 5% malted barley. That's the recipe. That's the mash bill. It is 92 proof. It is owned by a 5th generation Scottish family distiller, William Grant and Sons. It's kosher certified. And this comes out of Gardner, New York. Now, the other really intriguing thing about New Hudson Bourbon is they use something called sonic aging or sonic maturation or sonic pulsation. Those are the terms. What that means is that they play music for the barrels, and that agitates the liquid inside, and that's supposed to enhance the flavor. So they used to list their playlist on their website. They no longer do that. but they still do use the sonic aging or maturation to move the whiskey in the barrels. So generally speaking, they're going to play trap. They'll play something that has heavy bass. A lot of times they'll do dance music, EPM dance music. There are a lot of companies that utilize this, but some of them are a little bit more public about talking about it. There is a place in Kentucky called Kings and Cooper. They make brandy. You can go to their website and see their playlists. And I visited them a couple of years ago, and it was Prince's birthday. So they were playing a Prince playlist from Spotify for all of the barrels. And that was really cool. But they say that this enhances the flavor of the whiskey. They've even had people who have done experiments where they may play classical music for their whiskey. Then some people will play, again, like the bass or the trap. And they say it flavors the whiskey differently. I don't know, but that is what they say, right? So it's called sonic aging or maturation to move the whiskey in the barrels. So I've had this before. I like it. I think this is something a little bit unique, again, because of the 95% corn. So that's going to make it sweeter. It does have a real cork like that. And on the top is stamped New York. Okay, I never noticed that before. But that's what it looks like in terms of color. A little bit more robust color in this, a little deeper color on that one. Okay. Yeah, a sonic age whiskey, I think it would be interesting, especially if you could do, maybe this that was aged by the bass or the trap music, and then this that was done by the classical music. Do they really taste different? I think that would be really, really cool. I'm not getting a lot of nose off of it. Just kind of a sweetness, I think. Very smooth and sweet. That's the way I would describe it. Does have a kick to it. Not anything harsh, but I feel like if you don't like the bite that bourbon has, this would be a good one to try. Because because of the corn, 95% corn, that's what you're going to get. So on the back of the bottle, it has a little story. It says, as bold as New York. Welcome to New York. It's a city that's bold, yet refined, artful, and unapologetic. Bright Lights Big Bourbon, never one to shy away from the spotlight. Bright Lights Big Bourbon is a bold, grain-forward, no-holds-barred, straight bourbon whiskey distilled from New York corn, aged in new-charred American oak barrels with notes of rich vanilla and lightly salted caramel on the finish. It shines brighter than the rest. I'm not tasting that vanilla. I'm not really tasting the caramel, but I do taste a sweetness, more like, maybe it's a cross between like caramel and chocolate, because I do get like a candy kind of taste to it. And it says aged a minimum of 3 years. And it is distilled and matured by, I think this is Hilltown, something like that. Spirits. Tuthilltown. I don't want to mispronounce it, but that's it. They also have some really interesting names on their bourbons. And a lot of them have musical references. I definitely encourage checking out the website because they have some really interesting things on there. So I like that one. So shout out cruise to Hudson Whiskey. All right. So I'm going to have my cracker here. And the next one that I'm going to talk about, shout out to D-Man, who actually gifted this to lot during the family reunion. It is called Cleveland Underground bourbon whiskey finished with black cherry wood. It's 94 proof. Small batch, because it says batch 27, bottle 4140. ClevelandWhiskey.com. About 50 bucks. The Hudson's about $50 as well. That's what the bottle looks like. And you notice it says finished with black cherry wood. So earlier I mentioned that most barrels are made from oak, right? Reason why is because certain woods don't hold liquid well. So sugar maple, cherry, they don't hold liquid well. But you can add pieces of the wood, the staves in to give it flavor. And it's going to add something different to the whiskey, right? But yes, Cruz, that is true. Certain woods, right? I'll always have to go there, right? So she said it. I just read it. She said it. I wasn't even thinking that. Not this time. Not this time. Not this time. All right. So I'm going to pour this up. Shout out to D-Man. And shout out to Locke for sharing your bottle with me. I appreciate it. Hey, Lainey. You're on a steady break. Okay. Study on. Carry on. Get smart. And pass your tests. Pass your classes. All right. I get a hint of cherry. I do smell that a bit. So this is 94 proof. And I'm going to talk to you a little bit about how they do this. Okay. D-Man said, "It's Fraggle Naggle. He's not a drinker." It's true. Okay. I like it. So I taste fruit, but I would not say cherry. But I do get a fruity taste. I'm trying to come up with a better description besides just fruity. And I can't. I taste fruit. I do taste fruit, but it's good. I like it. Don't be nervous. I mean, it's very smooth. I read up on this one, and this was really fascinating to me. So I talked to you all about the types of wood, and certain types of wood don't hold. Okay, this is the one you recommended, Kelly. Okay. Don't hold liquid well. What they do, they age it less than 6 months in an oak barrel. They take it out and they put it in these stainless steel tanks for finishing. And then they add the pieces of wood to give it flavor. I don't know how long they age it. But this is from their Uncommon Barrel collection. Shout out Kelly and D-Man for recommending this. Let me see what it says on the back of the bottle. It says using carefully selected transformative woods. So that would be the cherry wood that they're putting in there. It says, if we are branded as heretics, we passionately embrace the label, no excuses. Our bourbon is naturally colored and flavored with sustainable woods from around the world. No artificial colors or flavors. The bourbon is made in the United States of America. 94 proof. Bourbon whiskey finished with black cherry wood called Cleveland Underground. I like it. And it says finished and bottled in the city of Cleveland, Ohio. Now, I'm going to tell y'all, it says finished and bottled. Doesn't say anything else on there, so I hope it's no trickery. They're supposed to list it if it's sourced elsewhere. But it's interesting to me that they just put finished and bottled. So I don't know if that's one of those, lies by omission where you just don't tell it. You don't give all of the details. Yeah, that kind of thing. So Cruz is in here talking about she saw wood transform. I didn't say that. She said that. I'm just reading. That's what I saw. That's what I heard. So anyway, so the Great Mountaintops of Cleveland. Yeah, so Cleveland, I'm gonna give that a 4. I'm only giving it a 4 because I'm not really tasting the cherry strongly, and I would have liked to taste that. So Panic at the Pen Show said, I want to know more about how they're using black cherry wood because it is toxic. So I am sure that they're using it in an amount or not allowing it to sit in the whiskey so long that it's contaminating it. I'm positive of that. So there is a lot of science and biology and all of that involved in all of that. So those are my 4 that I tasted. So I tasted the Few from Evanston, Illinois, $36, 93 proof. Really liked it. Then I did the Smoke Wagon, which I did not like at all. Hey Tally, how you doing? At all. Okay, I give that a. Is there anything less than a 0? Yep. No, Tally, I actually like the Cleveland bourbon. I thought it was pretty good. It was the Smokehouse from Las Vegas that I did not care for at all. And then the New York Hudson Bourbon. It's $50, 92 proof, kosher certified from out of New York. They use the sonic aging with the music. Really like that. I would give that a 5. And then the Cleveland, the Underground, I gave that a 4. The bourbon whiskey finished with black cherry wood. I gave that a 4. I liked it. Yeah, not poisoning me with that ranks really high on the list. So yeah. So I am thinking that I will get some ice, or I will ask Locke to get some ice for me right about now. And I thought it would be really fun, since we were talking about the states, to share some interesting facts with you. This is not all the states. Now, all of the states have interesting facts, but these are the ones that stood out on the whiteboard of my mind, right? Because I am going to drink some pineapple juice and some Few. I like the Few the best, so that's going to be my cocktail today. And when I'm at home drinking, this is generally how I'm going to drink it. I like to drink my whiskey with pineapple juice or cranberry juice. If I'm not going to drink it neat, this is the way that I like to drink it. The pineapple juice and the cranberry juice, they're both tart fruits, so they kind of add a little something to the whiskey. It's like a nice balance, and I really like that. So yes, that is how I drink it when I'm at home. I do like to do a lot of cocktails on the show because I like to experiment with you all. Like, that's really fun to me. But when I'm at home, neat, or with the pineapple juice or the cranberry juice. That's generally the way that I like to do it. So I do not have my jigger. I'm freehanding it on my pour, and I'm good with that. We're going to just freehand it. So I'm going to put a couple of cubes of ice in. I'm going to pour my Few, again, out of Evanston, Illinois. Very happy with this. Glad I got this one. That's probably about 2 jiggers. That's a nice drink. And I'm going to top it with my pineapple juice. That's going to be a good cocktail. So, cheers, y'all. Right. Panic at the Pen Show said 2 fingers. So 2 fingers is basically 2 fingers around the bottom of your glass. You're filling your liquor up to those 2 fingers. Or if you did a 3-finger, you would be filling up with that much liquor. But 2 fingers is, that's good. Yeah. That's good. Nice and smooth. So, a couple of fun facts. Alaska. Poison ivy and poison oak do not exist in Alaska. Alaska and Hawaii are the only 2 states where those plants don't exist. I didn't know that until I read this. But I thought that was really interesting. They do have other plants that cause skin reactions. Something called cow parsnip and devil's club. But yeah, in Alaska and Hawaii, they don't have poison ivy or poison oak. In Arkansas, it is illegal to mispronounce Arkansas. The name of the state was given by the Quapaw tribe, which are some of the original residents. This is the way they worded it in this article. I was like, original residents. Anyway, that sounds like some Columbus Day shit to me. But anyway, there's no criminal penalty for pronouncing it wrong, but it is written in state law. So don't even try that Arkansas shit. That's what it said. Don't even try that. Colorado is the only state in history to reject having the Olympics. They tried for a decade, and then they declined to host in 1976 because the citizens voted against it. So it is the only state in history to reject having the Olympics. In Florida, the Everglades is the only place in the entire world where crocodiles and alligators coexist. The only place. In Georgia in 2004, one of the largest hogs, and I say hog, on record, was found, and it weighed 800 pounds. It was 8 feet long, and it was called Hogzilla. Only in Georgia. I was like, that's our fun fact. That's our thing here in Georgia. We got the biggest hog. Okay. In Hawaii, you can mail a whole coconut. You don't have to wrap it. You don't have to box it. It has to be odor and dried up. You can write a message on it. You can paint a picture on it, but the post office will deliver it. Okay. I told you I wasn't going to do all of them, but these are the ones that stood out. In Iowa, the world's largest truck stop exists in Walcott, Iowa, and I've been there. It's called Iowa 80. So think Buc-ee's and Wawa combined with a movie theater, a laundry room, a dog washing area, a barber shop, all type of shit in there. But yeah, it's wonderful. It's called Iowa 80, and it's the largest truck stop, and it's like a destination. Like it's a place to go in Iowa. In Maryland, and I know all my sports fans knew this, right? Y'all better have. The Baltimore Ravens are named after Edgar Allan Poe's poem, The Raven, because the author is buried in Baltimore. Okay, so if you didn't know that. In Mississippi, this state's official drink is milk. Simple and humble. In Montana, the largest snowflake ever recorded was found in 1887. Allegedly, the diameter was 15 inches. In Nevada, Las Vegas, where that horrible smoke wagon came from. It's considered to be one of the brightest spots on Earth, and it can be seen from space. I did not know that. It can be seen from space. New Hampshire was initially named North Virginia. And it probably was like a South Virginia, East Virginia. It was probably all of that at some point, right? But it was going to be named North Virginia. And they changed it to New Hampshire. In New York, cruise. After Albert Einstein died, his eyes and his brain were stolen. His eyes were legally given to his eye doctor, and they've been preserved in a safety deposit box in New York ever since. Weird, right? In North Dakota, there are more cows than people. Ohio is the home to the world's largest troll collection. You know, the troll dolls. I don't know where this is. I know it's a lot of Ohio folks in here. Can you all tell me? Yeah, Missy Bond, it's all on the internet, right? That this is, the largest trolls doll collection. In Oklahoma, I would be in jail without the bail because tattoos weren't legal in Oklahoma till 2006. Prior to the law change, tattoos had been banned and illegal since 1963. And I'm all tatted up on one side, so that wouldn't have worked for me. Rhode Island. At one point in time, Hasbro's Mr. Potato Head was the face of Rhode Island tourism. This was crazy to me. I was like, what? And this one kind of took me down the rabbit hole a little bit. I got to admit, because I pulled some pictures and all kinds of stuff. So it says that in 2000, the state began placing statues of Mr. Potato Head around the state to greet visitors. They even had a mock swearing-in ceremony to name the iconic potato as Rhode Island's official travel ambassador. So, yeah. Okay, so D-Man said we have some big stuff in Ohio, but you can't confirm that about the troll collection, the troll doll collection. I have to dig into that. Yeah, I'll have to find out more about that. All right. In Texas, because the state didn't like the idea of the federal government overseeing energy and electricity, they're the only state with its own power grid. Only one.
So reliable, too.
Yeah, I was going to say, and I mean, now, that seemed like the move to me. Yeah, we should have all been thinking like that. In Virginia, there's a local law in Norfolk, Virginia, that prohibits people from spitting on seagulls. Why is that a law?
People spitting on seagulls.
I'm not. And seagulls and pigeons are like the rats of the bird world to me. That's my opinion. I'm not sorry for it, but I'm not spitting on them. I mean, yeah, spitting on. Everybody says sounds like a kink gone wrong. Seagulls are gangster. Pigeons are too, man. But that's a law. In West Virginia, there are several places in West Virginia named after international cities like Shanghai, Vienna, Cairo, Berlin, and more. And there are also a few unusually named towns like Paw Paw, Nutterfort, and Man. like Man, West Virginia, Nutter Fork, West Virginia. If that don't sound country, it does.
MAN?
MAN. MAN, yeah. West Virginia. I mean, and West Virginia is
An interesting place.
It is an interesting place. Like I said, my mother is from there.
It's almost like the one of the oddest names here, outside of the suburb that I won't say. But it's another suburb. It's another not suburb, but it's another city here called Between.
I didn't know that.
In Georgia, yeah.
Between Georgia.
It's on Highway 78. It's literally equidistant between Athens and Atlanta.
Okay. Well, that's accurate. So Lil Unique says Texas has Cut and Shoot. So there's a town called Cut and Shoot. Now, if there's something interesting about where you're from, drop it in the chat. Drop it in the chat. I would love to see it, like Locke just was talking about Between. Atlanta has a funny, nasty suburb name. What might you be talking about, T-Man? What are you speaking of? Put it in the chat. I have no clue what you're talking about. But drop it in there. Wyoming, the entire state, they only have 2 escalators. Gun Barrel City, Texas. That's a good one. Yeah, Gun Barrel City. Yeah. But yeah, only 2 escalators. Only 2 escalators.
It's a lot of one level dwellings, huh?
Yeah, exactly. In Tennessee, you can find an exact size replica of the Parthenon in Nashville. And there's also a replica of the Eiffel Tower in Paris, Tennessee. So that's pretty cool. I mean, all of the states had some really interesting things. I found out that Alabama has 210 species of freshwater snails. It is home to the most diverse snail species in the world. Snails. Okay, so Natty said, yeah, you do have Paris, Texas. I actually know about Paris, Texas. So just something interesting about me. I have been to every state except for Alaska. When I was young, my family owned a motorhome. So we used to travel cross country. And I had been to every state by the time I was 13. And after that, it was just like repeats. So I have seen lots of things and been to lots of interesting touristy type stuff in a lot of places. It was interesting. I mean, the United States is amazing. There's a lot of amazing things to be seen. Okay, so there's a mini Eiffel Tower in Paris with a cowboy hat on top. Okay, Willacoochee, Georgia. Willacoochee is yeah, that is true. I know about Willacoochee. I've heard of it. I don't know where it is or anything like that. Yeah. So okay, Miss Yvonne said Louisiana is the only state that has parishes instead of counties. That is true. I read that as well. Yeah.
Metropolis, Illinois.
Metropolis.
There is a Metropolis, Illinois.
Metropolis, Illinois.
It's right on the Kentucky-Illinois border.
Max said Willacoochee. Yeah, it's called Willacoochee.
Yeah, it's down towards. I think it's off 75 towards Perry, something like that.
Okay, I know where Perry, Georgia is. Yeah. Okay, but yeah, Willacoochee. Mac, that's what you come in on, Willacoochee?
No, not Perry. Sorry, it's down by Tifton. Sorry.
Okay, by Tifton.
Yeah, way South Georgia.
Okay. Another thing, Arizona has not observed daylight savings time. I think we all know this since 1968. And it's because of the hot temperatures. They said, yeah. Willacoochee is a real name. Yeah, D-Man. It's so much we could do with that, right? I'll just leave it up to you.
Yeah, I know D-Man was thinking about the other suburb north of Atlanta, just north of Alpharetta. I think that's what he was talking about.
Okay. Yeah, not Willacoochee. Okay, D-Man said, but Superman was created in Cleveland. Yeah, has to point that out, right? In Idaho, you all, there is a tree at the Brundridge Mountain Ski Resort where the skiers take off their bras and throw them in the trees, right? Willa or Wanacoochee? Welcome in and well played. Willa. It's Willa.
Best first chat
I know.
ever.
Welcome.
Perfect.
That was
You
perfect.
will fit right in here.
Come on in. Have a seat. Have a drink. Sit at the bar. But the people take their bras off and while they're on the chairlift, and they throw them on the tree. And it was called the Centennial Tree. Now it's called the Brundage Bra Tree. Now, I don't know why on the ski lift you're taking off your bra and throwing it on the tree. I don't know. But that's what the people do. So, yeah. So, I hope that you all enjoyed hearing about the whiskeys from other places. I certainly enjoyed talking to you all about them and hearing some fun facts about your state or somebody else's state. Always, I want to tell you all thank you. And again, I try my best to bring you all a variety of content. And I know we clown and laugh and joke and have a good time, but I always want you all to get some education and some entertainment from this. And like D-Man and Locke always joke about how they know way more about liquor than they ever thought, and neither one of them drink. But hey, I mean, if you ever are in a trivia contest or you go on Jeopardy or whatever, you'll know some things. Or you can just dazzle your friends with your liquor knowledge. And, you know, you'd be like, but I don't even drink. And they'll be like, what? You don't? It's a miracle. So next week, I don't know if I'll be here or not because I'm really trying to get some tickets to a whiskey event. I don't know if I'm going to get them or not. So either I will be at the whiskey event. 55%. Like D-Man says. Thank you, Miss KB. I'll either be at the whiskey event or I will be here, and I will be doing some pre-game to my 4-year anniversary. So June 19th is the debut anniversary of Brown Whiskey Woman. So on Juneteenth, it will be 4 years that I've been here on Twitch. I'm going to have some clips of probably from the past year. I'm not going to do that to Locke again where we go through all of the past years, but from the past year. Some funny moments, you know, some cool things that happened and some really awesome things happened this past year. I am very, very proud to be here with you all and to share what I know as an executive bourbon steward. And then just all of the information that I research and look up, and I love trying the drinks. Like, I appreciate you all being here and listening. I know brown liquor is not for everybody. I understand that. It's definitely a certain niche of individuals. And I know a lot of you all don't drink, but you still come in here and you listen to what I have to offer. So I am grateful to you for that. Always have a shout out for Brax, DJ Brax, who is our quirky captain here on Twitch, for giving me this idea to do this show. And also to Vader, who encouraged me to study hard for my executive bourbon steward exam and to pass. To Vance Dale, who's the person who kind of got me started in my home when I wanted to start up the show. And then to K-Lock for extending his studio to me for the past 2 years, going on 3 years, I guess. We will be pretty soon, right? So I'm grateful. I'm grateful to all the people who encourage me on this journey. So make sure you follow me on IG Make sure you give me a follow on YouTube. Tell your friends to follow me on YouTube. Subscribe. It's Brown Whiskey Woman. Every day at noon, you can see a old new video. I say old new because it debuted here on Twitch first, but now they're being posted on YouTube of the past shows. So you can get some laughs and have a good time. So if you make sure you give me a follow again, tell all your folks to give me a follow. And if you put exclamation promo into the chat, you will see some other things. So London Michelle does my flyers. If you're interested in her social media work, make sure that you hit her up. Also, make sure you follow Fresh Radio Show. They are here on Twitch. I'm a sponsor with them for the Fresh Day Party. And if you want some good vodka, make sure you check out City Nights Vodka. You will be supporting It's Grafton, our very own Twitch fam. Make sure everybody is following everybody. Make sure you check out these streams. You know, we got to support each other. Always thank you to my mods, to London, to Cruz, to Natty, to Locke, who is both mod and executive producer. I appreciate you all very much. Let us take a look at who's on so I can finish my drink and get out of here. All right, so I already know where I want to go. Locke and I were commenting that we have been seeing this person kind of around Twitch, and he's a gamer, we think. But today is his birthday, Slizza.
Hella supportive.
Yes, very, very supportive. Okay, so London, you said the website for Few is Few Spirits. Is it going through? Is my stream loud? Okay.
It wasn't. Nope.
Goodness. That means I didn't turn it on. I apologize, you all. If it's anything I talked about that you want to know about, please make sure you whisper me, either under Lisa the X or Brown Whiskey Woman. But it is fewspirits.com. Okay. So.
Oh, it's there. I see it.
It is there?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. Their website, and I did mention this. Their website is like the bomb, y'all. I would love to show it. Can we show it real quick before we get out of here? They have a video on there. It's only a couple of minutes about their backstory. And since it was my favorite one, this is like perfect because Few was definitely the star of the show today. So we're going to pull up the website real quick before we go over to Slizza because he's been celebrating all day. It's his birthday. And we will head over there. But let's take a look at this website real quick and look at this video. Thank you, London, for reminding me of that. Okay. But, yeah. But anytime if I talk about anything on the show, if I talk about a recipe, if I talk about a particular liquor, if there's just a question you want to ask me, please feel free to do so. I do check my Brown Whiskey Woman whispers. But I check Lisa the X a lot faster. So this is the website, The Few Spirits. And Locke got to tell the people he's 21 and get in there. So yes. And you all, I have a website. And Locke, if you don't mind, after this, if we could take a look at the Brown Whiskey Woman website. I would love that because I've never done that. This one first, please. Okay, so I want to show this video. Or they make you do all of that? Wow, okay. No, I didn't have to subscribe. I didn't have to do all of that. It's forcing you to? Okay. Yeah, almost as dope. Okay, there we go. Okay, scroll down. There is a short video on that page. Okay, I'm sorry, go back up. It says story. Yes. Keep going down. The video. Can we play that? It's only a few minutes. This is their story, and this is awesome.
What if we told you this started in an alley, a mile into Chicagoland, by a man who decided to get back to the root of what mattered?
Prior to World War II, my grandfather's family owned a brewery confiscated in the war.
Urban connoisseur.
In the war, my grandfather spent the rest of his life trying to get the brewery back, unsuccessfully. I started a few spirits in order to bring back his family legacy and to honor my grandfather's memory.
In order to make this all happen, he had to turn the tables and tablets. Before Few opened in 2011, there had not been a single drop of alcohol made in Evanston, Illinois, ever.
One of the things that makes Few special and unique is that we're completely grain to glass distillery. So what that means is we're getting our grain in the door, we're mashing it ourselves, we're fermenting it, we're distilling it, we're throwing the juice into barrels at that point, we're letting it age, we're blending it with our palates, bottling it up, and then sending it to our fans all around the world.
Have there been struggles and mishaps? Of course there have. But that's the thing with the team at Few. We work together and fix them every single time.
That's the spirit of Chicagoland and Few. It's hard work, it's defying odds, it's remembering the past while getting to the future. It's building something to welcome others.
At Few, we make whiskeys we want to share with our friends and family. Bold American whiskeys that are non-traditional, and whiskeys that we're proud of.
At first, we weren't going to make a lot, but with the help of a few, we've now traveled beyond Chicagoland into hands around the world.
We owe this all to you, the drinker, and we thank you. We're going to keep on making Few as long as you keep enjoying it.
So I encourage you all to go to the website and just look at it because it's really, really nice. Well done. Love the video. And again, their story. But I want to show you all the Brown Whiskey Woman website. I've never done that on my show. Why? I don't know. But let's go and see the Brown Whiskey Woman website. I have a website. I actually do events. So if you were interested in having a tasting, you could hire me for that. And this is it. So this is my story. This is my logo, my slogan. I'm down with Brown Whiskey Woman, Executive Bourbon Steward. And this is it. So let's scroll through. It's pretty simplistic, but I like it. That's me. And that's my story. I encourage you all to go and check it out and read my story about how I became the Brown Whiskey Woman. Most of you all that have been hanging out, you know that story. Me and the Clears were just not friends. But this is it. We can keep going down. And so I will have some recipes that I will be stocking there. Some of my favorite recipes. I'm working on that. I need to get on that. And then it says, let's converse. If you're interested in hiring me for an event, you can do so. So again, tell your friends about the website. Tell your friends about me on YouTube. I'm trying to do something with this thing. Can keep going, I think. It's something underneath there. Yeah. And that's my watermark. That's my signature. So distilled 2021, because that is when I became an executive bourbon steward. And those of you who have not heard the story, how I became a bourbon steward is I was looking for something productive to do during the pandemic. So I became an executive bourbon steward and I became a certified florist. So those are two very different things, but very creative things that I took on. So go check out my website, and I'm really, really happy and proud. This is my YouTube page, and you all can see the past videos. Again, every day at noon, they are being released, so you can go have some laughs, see some of the past shows. You can see Locke on there with me for a lot of those shows. We have shared space. We had the Main and Main podcast, and we had Brown Frisky woman we've done together. Had lots of fantastic guests over the years. So I'm really proud of the progression.
And just to keep in mind too, as of your anniversary, all videos on demand will go directly to YouTube the day after broadcast.
Thank you. Thank you. So you will not be able to see them on Twitch anymore. You will have to go to YouTube to view the replay. That website is really nice, isn't it, D-Man? D-Man, would you like to say anything about that? would you am I allowed to say anything about that, D-Man? I didn't know. We didn't discuss that. Just say yeah or no or something. Say something. Because if I'm allowed to talk about it, I will talk about it. But anyway, Wanda said, D-Man, very nice. It is very nice. It's stellar. It is stellar. Okay, so there it is during Stream Elements. Okay, so I'm not crazy. I did put it in there. But that is all the information for each bourbon that I tasted. Again, read your bottles, okay? Make sure that if you want something that is directly from your city, you're reading the bottle and that is not sourced. Okay, so D-Man said I could. D-Man designed a website for me. You all, he is a web designer. If you are interested in his services, please contact him. You must pay. It is not free. But if you are interested, make sure that you contact him because I was very pleased. And he was very patient with me with changes and everything. Just everything about it. I was very, very happy with the customer service I received. Excellent. Very professional, very polished. I love the look of it. I gave him kind of an idea of what I wanted it to look like, and he added some things in it. So yes. So it has been up for months. I admit that I have been forgetting to tell you all about it. So my bad on that, but it has been up for months. So I'm very proud of it. And thank you, D-Man. I appreciate it. So see, a good web designer is hard to find. So yes, please, please reach out to him if you are interested in his services. Wanda said it, run D-Man his money. Cause yeah, you don't want no Ohio heat. I'm just saying, you don't. You know, when I'm in his stream, he said, you don't want no Detroit heat. You don't, but you don't want no Ohio heat either. So yes, but we are going to head over to Slizza. Again, thank you all so much. I might be here next Thursday. I might not, but I'll be here on the 19th for sure for my anniversary. Positively. If I am here next week, I will be pre-gaming with some of my favorite cocktails. Otherwise, I will be kicking up my heels at a real life whiskey event that involves barbecue and a whole bunch of other stuff. We'll see if I get a ticket, you know, if that works out. But thank you all so much. I appreciate you. We are going to get out of here and go say happy birthday to Slizza. And we have not, wait a minute, have we put up the exit screen in a while? We haven't, huh? Is it handy? Can we do it? Okay, something's happening. And thank you to my new followers. I appreciate it. All the people that came in and checked me out. And I hope you come back and tell some friends. Go to the website. Go to YouTube. All that. Okay. So we getting out of here? Or we finding what we doing? There we go. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out. Thank you, Cruz. Thank you, London. Thank you, Natty. I appreciate you. Thank you, Locke. And thank you for my theme song. Dre, the producer. Make sure that you follow him, too. Bourbon by Chaos with a Kiss. By Asteroid Music. Bye, y'all.